On what was supposed to be the happiest night of their lives, many Persian princesses trembled with fear. The wedding music faded, the palace doors closed, and the night that symbolized love often meant pain, power, and silence. So why did royal Persian brides fear their wedding night? In ancient Persia, royal marriages were rarely about love. They were political contracts sealed to protect dynasties, strengthen alliances, and preserve royal bloodlines. For princesses born into luxury, their lives were decided long before they could speak for themselves. And the wedding night was not a romantic beginning. It was a test, a ritual, and sometimes a nightmare. From the Achaemenid Empire to the Sasanian dynasty, Persian kings held absolute power. Princesses were raised to obey, not to choose. Their value was measured in purity, obedience, and the alliances they could secure through marriage. As the wedding day approached, fear grew, not excitement. One of the greatest fears was the expectation of virginity. In Persian royal culture, a bride's purity was not private, it was public proof of honor. The wedding night was meant to confirm this purity. In some cases, blood-stained sheets were presented as evidence. Failure to meet this expectation could result in humiliation, punishment, or lifelong disgrace. Imagine the terror of knowing that your body would be judged before dawn. But the fear went deeper. Many Persian princesses were married extremely young. Historical sources suggest that royal girls could be married in their early teens, sometimes even younger. These girls were sent to powerful men, kings, generals, or foreign rulers whom they barely knew. The wedding night meant physical pain, emotional shock, and complete loss of control. Consent, as we understand it today, did not exist. Another haunting fear was polygamy. Persian kings often had multiple wives and concubines. A princess knew that even after marriage, she might never be the king's favorite. She could be ignored, replaced, or trapped in palace politics. The wedding night did not guarantee love. It only confirmed ownership. For some, the fear came from court rivalries. Royal women lived under constant surveillance. Senior queens, concubines, and palace officials competed for influence. A new bride was vulnerable. One mistake on the wedding night, a wrong word, a perceived insult could create enemies for life. There are historical accounts suggesting that some brides were tested or observed indirectly to ensure obedience and fertility. The pressure to conceive an heir began immediately. A princess who failed to become pregnant quickly risked losing status, or worse, being blamed for infertility, even if the fault was not hers. In extreme cases, wedding nights were associated with violence and cruelty. While not universal, some rulers were known for brutal behavior. A princess had no legal protection. She could not refuse, complain, or escape. Her suffering remained hidden behind palace walls. Religion and tradition added another layer of fear. Zoroastrian beliefs emphasized purity, order, and duty. Marriage was sacred, but for royal women, duty outweighed personal happiness. Disobedience was seen not just as rebellion against a husband, but against divine order itself. This belief trapped princesses in silence. Some Persian princesses were even married to close relatives, a practice known as swadota in certain periods. Though religiously justified at the time, such marriages caused deep psychological distress. The wedding night in these cases was especially terrifying, confusing natural emotions with enforced tradition. Foreign marriages were no safer. Princesses sent to rival kingdoms as peace offerings faced unknown cultures, languages, and rulers. On their wedding night, they were alone, surrounded by strangers, far from home, knowing they would never return. For them, the wedding night symbolized exile. Yet history rarely recorded their voices. Persian chronicles praised kings, wars, and empires, but the fear of women was erased. What we know comes from fragments, foreign historians, and careful reading between the lines. Behind the gold, silk, and jewels were girls silently enduring a fate they never chose. Not every wedding night was horrific. Some princesses did find respect, influence, and power over time. A few rose to become queen mothers, advisors, or political strategists. But fear was always present because the risk was always real. The wedding night was not just about intimacy, it was about survival. It was the moment a princess crossed from protected daughter to controlled wife. From that night onward, her body belonged to the dynasty, Her emotions were irrelevant. Her role was fixed. Today, when we imagine ancient palaces, we think of beauty and romance. But history is more complex and more painful. The fear of Persian princesses reminds us that power often hides behind tradition, and silence does not mean consent. Their stories were never written in their own words, but their fear echoes through time. If history's hidden stories fascinate you, subscribe for more untold truths the textbooks never reveal. Like the video, share it, and tell me which ancient story should we uncover next.